Tennessee, where freedom is alive. His shots ring from the woods. 45. His life is she's what he probably should. He's commandeering the neighborhood in the land of life is shooting down in Hollywood. Life is good. Life is good. Life is
Yes, Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, coming to you with a beautiful high power from the beautiful hills of Tennessee, the home of Alvin York. Yes, when you got an old Browning high power as an HIGH made in the early 50s, what was it, 52? It's not quite World War II, but it's an old one, and haven't had it out for a long time. Has a magazine disconnect, which I mentioned I think last week. Magazine disconnect, which many of us find very annoying. So glad you're here. Glad I'm here. Glad I'm back from the NRA meeting. And glad you're back, made it home. A lot of you were there. A lot of you were there. I don't know what the final numbers were, but I don't know what the final numbers were on how many I met either, but it had to be about 1,000 of you. And so it was good to meet you. I enjoyed meeting you and appreciate all the kind words and all the ill words. Nah, never any ill words, but I really appreciate your kind thoughts. And it was great to see you personally, because here in the woods, I never have the pleasure of seeing your funny looking faces. I don't. You just have to look at my funny looking face. So I got to see a lot of your funny looking faces. Sure did. In Indianapolis, on the floor, in the restaurants, everywhere around there, on the street. So hopefully we all made it home safely, and hopefully you had a great time there. Everybody I talked to seemed pretty ecstatic. They're really enjoying the exhibits and enjoying that crowd of like-minded people with that room full of firearms and accessories and everything you can imagine, right? Knives, guns, holsters, and all that good stuff. So glad you were there, and it's, look, you notice I think the last week has taken a bigger jump, bigger leap in terms of greenery. Yeah, really came out in the last week quite a lot, didn't it? It is spring. Spring has sprung, and we're here to witness it again, right? So yeah, it was really good to see you. And yeah, this is the week hopefully you got back, and if you did not have your taxes sent in, you got that done. That was the nightmare day or two after you got back, right? Due Tuesday, and I had sent mine in like the week before I left. Well, a couple of days before I left for the NRA meeting, and CPA got finished with what she needed to do and got that in. And I noticed it had been cashed by the friendly IRS. Went online today and saw that. You always do that. Just and you're mailing those big checks, you quarterly or whatever. You know, I don't lose any sleep over it, but I start checking after 4, 5, 6 days and just make sure it got there and was cashed and all that kind of thing. So anyway, necessary evil. And sometimes we wonder what the money is going for, don't we? We really do. And sometimes we see what it's going for and we don't like it. It's not the fact that we don't know where our money is going that upsets us a little bit. It's the fact that we see where it's going that upset us, right? Who it's paying and all that sort of thing. So anyway, hopefully you're all clear on that. I don't want any of you to go to jail. Yeah, you're too young or you're too old or whatever. I always say that. Sometimes I'm never sure. We're talking about gun laws or, some gun violation that someone might be talking about or whatever, and, talk about how I never play with that kind of stuff because I'm too young to go to jail or too old to go to jail. What I really mean is, I don't want to go to jail. It doesn't matter whether you're young or old. It's not a fun place to be, I would think, right? I've seen too many movies. Yeah, not fun. So anyway, one thing that always comes to my mind, I heard some talk on radio station or something. It was, I guess it was Tuesday, talking about, because it was the day taxes were due, the 18th, and there was a talk radio station, local, I think, talking about how they had a tradition in their family of mailing the check, the taxes and the check and everything on the day it was due, and being at the post office before midnight because they keep the post office open or late, that day, and it was kind of a family tradition, and I remember that. I don't know, not so much. I don't keep up with that so much, but I know a lot of people. I think they're driving up. There's a long line at the post office on the 15th of April or whatever the day is it's due. They extend it through the weekend, or whatever, and all that sort of thing. And so most of that is people just put it off, right? And then then it's due and it has to be postmarked for that day. And then the other thing is, I think a lot of people, I think, believe that the later you send it in, maybe the less likely you are to be audited. I don't know. And then also a lot of people just hate paying it so badly, they don't want to give it to the government one day before they have to. So you got lots of reasons why people do that. And I don't. I'm not particularly pleased with how our money is spent, but I don't do that. I'm the same way with normal monthly bills. I pay them. My concern is Murphy, right? Murphy, look him up. He's always looking over your shoulder. He's always back there, ready to seize the opportunity to screw up your life in some way, small or large. It's like, you've been meaning to gas up and you didn't, you ran out of gas, or you've been meaning to get new tires because one of them has a problem and you put it off, and then you got something really important to get to. Sure enough, that's when it goes down, right? Or you have the flat or something. And sure enough, if I waited till the last day to send my taxes in, I don't know, I might just get sick, can't even get to the post office, or you can file an extension. It's not like you're going to jail if you're a day late or something, but I don't put things off like that. I just have lived with Murphy. Not that I've had a lot of bad luck. It's just that in my long life, I've seen how he operates, and he's enjoyed playing with me a couple of times, over the years. And so I just don't give Murphy the opportunity. I really don't. I definitely do not follow that philosophy or that mode of operation. Pay the bill like the last few days, before it's due and everything, or electric bill's due on the 15th. Well, send it in on the 12th. It'll be there in time, and all that kind of thing. Don't send it a minute too early. Don't let them have your money in their account. You might as well have it in your account. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't have some account that's paying 25% interest or something every day. There's no money to be made. There's no money to be made on either end, them or me. That I can see that amounts to anything to offset the fact that Murphy's watching. So I just pay bills like as soon as I'm auto pay on that everything now. And so really, some of them I don't even like it because the auto pay is closer to the due date. But that's their problem. That's their business. Whenever they want to take it out. But when I was writing the checks for everything or sending it electronically to the check, I think I've got literally everything. Just about everything's auto pay now. But as soon as I got the bill, as soon as it came to me through email, or I was notified, your electric bill is determined and here's this much. It might be 3 weeks away before it's actually due. Man, I get that. I would just write it, send it, electronically pay it immediately. I just still do that with things. I get the propane tank filled up. As soon as that bill hits, like about the next day, I pay it electronically. I've got 30 days, 35 days, 2 months, I don't know. I just like to get that cleaned up. There's not an issue, you know. So anyway, I know you were dying to know about that, right? So can I shoot this thing some more? 9mm Browning high power. If you don't know what this firearm is, look it up. Somebody by the name of at least Hickok 45 has a video on this, several high powers, and this one is mine. It's an older one. It's the only high power I have. I want to get the new FN high power. Well, this is an FN, but I want to get the new one sometime. All right, I was not hitting much, I don't think. There's another sight I need to paint. No. All right, do I remember where to hold with this thing? Okay, cowboy, let's shoot this plate right here first. Okay. Feels like it kind of hits just about right on, at least at these distances. I'll bet at that distance too. Yeah. Okay, that one hit. I finally heard that one. Yeah, pretty nice. Let's shoot Alabama holster. Oh, I can't. I forgot. Huh. Interesting. I can't do what I like to do sometimes. If I don't want to shoot the entire magazine, I'll do that with ARs, you know, or anything that holds pretty many bullets, you know. Just because you put a magazine in doesn't mean you have to empty the whole mag, you know, at one time really. So sometimes I'll do what I was about to do there. I'll pull the mag out, fire the last shot. Guess what? Magazine disconnect. Same thing the big dummy told you when I first got here, right? So anyway, yeah, I was going to shoot Alabama. Speaking of people help us, man, we saw a bunch of them at the show. And yeah, I was going to shoot Alabama holster. Why don't I shoot Alabama holster through this Alabama holster? There you go. How'd that be for a joke? But they make great little holsters, belt holsters, pocket holsters, and you name it. Kydex is their specialty. And I used to not like Kydex back in the day. And I've learned to like it with certain firearms a great deal. Because, you know, I'm a traditional guy. I love leather, good leather. But with certain firearms, and for example, if I have which I do, an old Python with a beautiful finish, blued finish, right? I probably would not put that in a Kydex holster, rubbing against the Kydex holster. Now, might not mar it, but I you know, there's no need to. I probably wouldn't do it. You could also mar it in a beautiful suede line holster if you've got dirt in the suede, I guess. Maybe more, I don't know. But I typically like them for carry guns and any gun, a polymer gun, just doesn't have some beautiful finish, you know, and you want it to lock in and really, really fit well. So anyway, and of course other people that help us a lot. Good old Ballastall, saw them at the NRA meeting, talked to them. Talon gun grips, got to have a good grip on your gun. It's just amazing to me the number of guns that come out. Still, you know, like the FNs I've had out the last few weeks, and I talked to FN at the show. They got another firearm, the Reflex, that's coming out. I'm anxious to shoot. Really, really nice. Seems like a nice trigger, little gun. But you know, all the work and engineering that go into these wonderful firearms that keep coming out, they have a hard time getting the grip right. To me, maybe I've got different hands. Maybe that's why I got hooked on Talon grips so early. You know, like whatever, 10, 15 years ago. I just like a little friction, and I don't get it with these new polymer guns. You know, sometimes the more aggressive they look, the less aggressive they are. Right? Frictitious. I never did invent that word, did I? They have less friction, even though they look like they have they'd have an incredible grip, but they don't. So anyway, such is life, all those major disappointments, right? So anyway, we appreciate everybody helps. It was great to see everybody at the show, you all, the people we support and that support us, and as well as some other YouTubers. Such, Double O, had dinner with him and some friends, and just a great fella. And I ran into another YouTuber, well, 2 or 3, and I forget their names. The new series that Tim from Military Arms Channel and Blank is doing, I forget his name, they're doing like almost every day a video, sometimes a short one, just about gun rights or issues and different things. We've seen it's really, really well done. I ran into him, I didn't recognize him, and he introduced himself. We chatted for a while. But that's a great program that he and Tim have going. Sorry, I can't remember your name. I'm just too dumb. And next week I'll give it. And H.R. Funk, yeah, whose videos I discovered several years back. And he's a Marine. He was a cop, police officer. And gosh, what else has he been? A teacher, I guess. But does a great job, I think, in videos, and many of you know him. So ran into him. It was great. As soon as I saw him, I recognized him, and we had a good chat. But anyway, I guess didn't run into a ton of people, other than from some of the various companies I've met over the years, and talked to a lot of interesting people and vendors, and I bought a piece of art. I posted that? I did. I posted on Instagram, The Real Hickok 45, a cat, bobcat. Here we go, another name. Clint Branham. Yeah, Clint Branham art. Yeah, he's on Instagram too, but does wildlife art. And I was just entranced. I walked by that booth and I thought, oh, cool, how cool. It's almost all like black and white and just really detailed, and a lot of cats, lions or whatever, and other animals, but just really, really neat. You know how art is, paintings like that. They either grab you or they don't, and they just really did. And I knew the moment I walked up, okay, I'm probably going to have one of these, before I even talked to anybody. And then some of you all came by, a bunch of you came by, and I spent about the next 30 minutes talking to you all. Then I got back to the booth there and got to look at them some more. And yeah, I came home with a bobcat. So look on Instagram if you want to see it. I hung it on the wall. Looks pretty good on the log wall, right by it's in my den, living room where I work. And yeah, it's just neat. It's a bobcat. I don't have a pet bobcat, but it kind of reminded me of Slamfire a little bit, because he's pretty wild. And many of you have seen Slamfire, most of you, in one of the videos. He's probably been in, 4 or 5 at least at the beginning. Yeah, I mean, it's up to him. It's not my choice. He has to jump up on, just happen to want to be up on the table when we're about to do a video. That's the only time he shows up. You don't make a cat do anything, you know that. Otherwise, I just bring him over here and let him talk to you all, on Sunday videos. But he doesn't venture out too far from the house most of the time. And then again, you can't make a cat do anything. As good a fella as he is, if I pick him up and put him on this table, now he likes to be up on the table kinda with me. If he were already over here walking around, that's kind of what he is over at the shooting table by the house. If I'm out there messing around and he's over, because that's his area around, and he'll come over and see me and he'll want to come up and see what I'm doing, That's the only reason he shows up in videos. But he doesn't venture out too far for some reason. Although he'll surprise me sometimes. I have to kind of watch. I'm out bush hogging, mowing in the tractor. I'll be just driving around fairly fast. I mean, I sort of know the trails and what I'm bush hogging, after almost 40 years of doing it. And so I'm bopping around. I come around a tree, and there he is. He's lying there stalking something. Doesn't happen often, but I keep an eye out for him. So I know you want to know about the cats, right? And the cat prints. So anyway, I had a great time at the show, and y'all wore me out talking to so many of you, but it was worth it to see you. So, you know what else I brought out? Oh, one other thing. Yes. Oh no, you got that Anaconda out again on a Sunday for the third time or whatever? Yeah, I do. Here's why. I bought some grips for it. Yeah, from Raj. Eagle Grips. Eagle Grips. Great outfit. If you know Raj, the owner, they set up at the NRA meeting every year. And Raj is the one who, well, I say provided, I bought them, but the stag grips for the Davy Colts, you know, the 3 different generations of Colts, you know, back in 2016. I picked them out and talked to him then, and he you know, bought those, and then he sent them over to Colt and all that, and fit them. But he always has really nice grips. This one is Turkish walnut. These are, okay, and I wasn't sure, almost didn't buy them. I wasn't sure they had enough meat in them. I just couldn't tell for sure, but I liked them so much. Messing around where you can't see them. I liked them so much, and they felt good without a gun attached to them. So I said, well, I'm going to take a chance, and so I bought them, and they do feel good. I think I'd still like a little more meat, but I don't know how much that helps or how much on recoil. And I might decide it kicks too much without the rubber grips on it. Took the rubber ones off. The Colt grips, those are probably made by Hogue. Oh yeah, they look like Hogue grips. Those Colt grips that come on them. So let me so I wanted to take a couple shots with this, with those Purdy grips. For one thing for sure, it's definitely a Purdier gun, right, with those grips on it. Beautiful wood grips. Walnut, okay, and that's the important thing. Even if it feels horrible, you can't shoot the firearm with those grips on it. That doesn't matter. Looks is what matters, right? Looks are the most important thing. No, you know me better than that. But looks is a factor. All right. Let's see how they feel. We'll try double action, where you get a little more recoil. Boom! Single action. Boom! Woo. These are my hand loads. 300 grain rounds. Cowboy, you need a 300 grain bullet. And you got one. You too, 2 liter. I'll throw one out at the gong. Got a 300 grains of lead, and I have one more. How about you? Propane tank. Oh. Went through 2 liters. Okay. 1 bullet, took out 2 of them. Okay. 300 grains of lead will do that. Is it 300 or 310? Yeah, I think it's 300. The 45 Colt bullets, they were the same bullet I basically load in 45 Colt for the Marlins. I think it's the one that's 310 grains, and these are 300 grains. So they're heavy. It feels okay. I'm not sure it's ever going to feel perfect unless I get some grips that are like twice that thick, twice as thick as these, twice as thick as the Hogue grips. I don't know. It feels fine. Beautiful gun. All right, Tori, don't you be blowing off of there. What are you trying to do? It's a little windy. There we go. Might want to shoot something again on there. All right, what else? Anything else important? Oh gosh, you know the NRA. Yeah, I guess it's still controversial. You know, I don't keep up with the specifics, as I've talked about before. Somebody, on Instagram, I saw someone said, "Are you giving money to the NRA again? Are you still giving money to the NRA?" When I posted about being at the meeting, letting everybody know I'd be there, and that kind of thing. A couple of those, and which I expected. Just because you go to the NRA meeting, it really doesn't mean a lot. Okay, for one thing, the NRA exhibits and the biggest gun show in the country, whether it's John Deere putting it on, or Kawasaki, or Colt, or the NRA, or one of the other gun rights organizations. Yeah, whoever can put on a show that big, more power to them. I'll probably go to it, unless it's Charles Manson or something. But the Charles Manson Foundation. So I don't know. So obviously it doesn't mean that I'm like Mr. Gung Ho NRA, or that I'm on the other side, that I'm an enemy of the NRA. It doesn't really mean either one. I'm like many of you, and I had conversations with some people at the show about that. A lot of people have kind of the same feeling, that they're just not sure. They don't get a warm and fuzzy feeling about, of course, the NRA's misuse of some of the funds and different things a few years back, maybe for a lot of years, I don't know. Still one of the big dogs in town, and then people disagree on the history of the NRA and blame a lot of gun control on them, justifiably or unjustifiably. So I don't know. I'm not sure how effective they're being. What all I know they got a few things done in recent year or two. I don't know. Just don't follow it that closely. I'm not a private investigator, and got other things to do. Less some things really surface that that can't be ignored, or they're astoundingly obvious. That sort of thing. I don't know. I just try to donate, or I did, to all the gun rights organizations. I'm a life member of all of them. So that's the other thing. It's not like I have to make a decision, every year. Okay, am I going to renew my NRA membership, or my GOA membership, or any of them, because I'm a life member of all of them. And so, I guess I'm a life member. Can you resign from that if you want to? I guess if you really wanted to. So I don't know. I didn't mean to get into all that much. It's I still just don't know. I mean, some of the criticism of any organization is just internet chatter, and that's always going to be a part of it. It's just hard to know how much of it is that, and then how valid some of it is, like back when all that was going on, because you can't ignore the fact that there are people, I mean, whatever it is, whatever organization it is, whatever, that has been really big, it's especially rewarding, and gives a lot of people an opportunity to kind of virtue signal by being the ones who point out, be the ones who see it where others don't, and so it's hard to know how much of that was going on back then. And then how much social media and internet amplified it, but it wasn't good from what we learned. That's why John and I had to kind of cut ties with asking people to join. I wasn't going to do that. That just is a kind of an integrity issue. I'm not going to ask somebody to join and send money to any gun rights organization when we're hearing about what looks like, I don't know, misuse of some of the money, that we're sending them. So that was, at least on that level, it was like a no-brainer. Okay, it can't be a part of that, asking people to send money, So I don't know where they are now. Well, time might take care of a lot of that, and new management would really maybe take care of some of that, right? So anyway, interesting thing. It's a dilemma for a lot of people. I get in talking with people. A lot of people aren't sure what to think, just kind of like me. And it's always easier to take one side vehemently than the other on any issue. But a lot of people just aren't really sure. They don't have inside information enough to just be adamant one way or the other. And that's kind of maybe where I am to some extent. But anyway, had a good meeting, and haven't shot guns for a while. Today, really, first time for a while, and I might just shoot some more. How's that? I'm so lucky to be able to shoot an old high power. I was thinking on driving back from Indianapolis how cool it is to again, to shoot some cool guns like that Mauser. Was that last week? The Mauser K98. Yeah, just to be able to shoot an old gun like that. And what else was I had out recently? Or the old trapdoor. Yeah, trapdoor a week or 2 or 3 ago, and firearms like that. Of course, any firearm is cool, but these old ones like this with some history are especially fun. Oh, I had a mag with a couple of rounds left in it. Let's get that one emptied. Let's shoot Alabama holster. All right. Yeah, it doesn't show up, so if I hit it, you almost can't see it, right? Let's shoot the Talon grips. Talon stock. Yeah. These things feel good. They always have felt great to me. Browning high power. The sight is not really quick to pick up because there's not much of a sight. It's like the old 1911s, World War I 1911s. You don't have a lot of sight there to pick up. But up close and dirty, it doesn't matter a lot, does it? Well, I guess I ought to give the advice to some young people, right? Give the young people a little dumb advice. No, man. I'll tell you what my advice is to young people, and anybody, but young people, especially as you're trying to figure out life. Something I try to do is I work and have for decades. I work at being consistent on things. Now, however you think, whatever your basic philosophy is, if you're liberal, if you're conservative, libertarian, whatever it is you think, you got your brain set. You know what you think about this world, the way things ought to be, okay? How you would rule the world if you were the king. But, and then what you think of things, and topic comes up, what's your take on that matter, and what would you do, and what do you think? If we all strive to be consistent, I think that's a really worthy effort or endeavor to try to strive for consistency in our thought. And actually, even in the effort to be consistent, if you have that in your mind that you want to be consistent, you don't want to think one way on one thing just because that's something you like and then differently on another. You try to see those inconsistencies in your philosophy and your take on things. And I think it's really a good mental exercise, because if that's one of your parameters, criteria, then you begin to see that, okay, wait a minute, you check yourself. It causes you to check yourself, I think. I don't know now. Am I really being consistent? Is this my basic philosophy down deep, the way I think about things? How come I think this way on that issue and that way on that issue, and they seem to be kind of the same, but I'm taking a different approach here. So, I mean, it helps you kind of figure out what you think about things. It's sort of how I came to a libertarian way of thinking. Yeah, and if someone, for example, if someone claims to be a libertarian, and in their thought, maybe they're not a card-carrying member, capital L, and they go to the rallies, or they, necessarily, but you know what I mean. If you're a libertarian in your way of looking at things, I almost don't need to ask you what your position on gun control is, or lots of things, because I know what your philosophy is about government. Kind of like what Thoreau or Emerson or both. That government is best which governs least. That was Thoreau, I think, in Walden, right? Or self-reliance. So I kind of know how where you stand, on that. And so anyway, try to shore up the inconsistencies, in the way you think about things. One thing is helpful, I think, if you're you find yourself getting upset about somebody's reaction or something somebody said about what this group of people are doing or that group of people are doing or some stance they're taking or whatever it is, replace that group, whatever it is, whether it's a race, religion, gender, whatever it might be, with a different race, gender, religion. And if they were doing that, protesting or whatever they're doing, that might upset you a little bit, would you be upset? Okay, or is it just that group you don't like? Or is it the fact that they're protesting that you don't like? Is it what they're protesting? You know, whatever it might be. Not a clear example, I realize, but play that game of putting something else in that slot, a different noun, different group, different name, different color, race, whatever, religion, gender, and just try to be consistent, in your thinking. And one of the things that over the years I try to catch people on. No, I'm not perfect, of course, but it's something I strive for. You might not like the way I think, but I think I'm fairly consistent. I try to be, and if I catch myself not being, I'll fix it. I hope. But over the years doing this project, I have caught people making comments, and I have answered them. I guess it's the teacher in me. I just can't resist, pointing it out, if I see it, or someone will. I mean, they're making fun of me. It doesn't bother me. They'll say something like, a typical one would be, "Yeah, you rednecks in the woods with your guns, you'll be better off without you," or something like that. You rednecks in the woods and whatever. Somehow, or some old man redneck in the woods, or what? I mean, they feel like they have a license to, because they don't like guns, right? I guess is the thing, or maybe they just don't like old people, or they don't like people who live in the woods, or I don't know what it all might be, all the above or one of the above. But I will answer them sometimes and say, well, I understand, but have you been a bigot your entire life? Is it only old guys and hicks that you don't like, or do you say the same thing about black people or gay people or whatever? Just put something else. In other words, people who wouldn't dream of saying something, at least that they might have the thoughts. That comment kind of reveals something about them, I think. But they wouldn't dream of ever saying something that would be really obviously a racist comment. They will perish the thought. I would never say anything like that. But it's okay to be a bigot in other ways, is what I'm getting at. To just stereotype somebody like me, because I have firearms, or I live in the woods, or I'm a hick, I look like a hick when they pop up a video, or a redneck, or because I'm an old guy, or whatever it might be, So they don't see that, They wouldn't dream of making fun of somebody's religion, maybe, or somebody's color, but it's okay to make fun of somebody's age. You don't even know them, but you can just blast them because they live in the country, so they got to be stupid. And even if I am stupid, they don't know that. Well, they might if they watch a little bit of a video, right? But you get what I'm saying. And so sometimes I'll seize those opportunities to just reveal to them that you are being a bigot, and I will just say sometimes, do you say these sorts of things to people you meet who are gay, or they're a different color than you, or different religion? I guess it's dangerous to be around you if you're of a different religion or color, or gender, or whatever, sexual orientation, whatever it might be. It sounds like you might be a dangerous person to be around. I feel a lot of hate, So I don't know. I just like to call them up on it and help them realize they're being maybe they are being consistent. Maybe they are racist. Maybe those are the racist people. People filled with hate, tend to be, I think, sometimes. But anyway, be consistent. Be consistent, really, as much as possible. Keep yourself, if your philosophy is live and let live, then why are you hassling? some specific, I don't know, race, gender, whatever. You pick the group. Why are you hassling? Why are you so obsessed with some particular group of people, whatever that might be, or anything? If your philosophy is live and let live, if they're not bothering you, that sort of thing. So anyway, that was a long way around the barn, but anyway, work. I think it's a worthy endeavor to work to be consistent, even if you're consistently wrong. be consistent. Maybe it will begin to dawn on you that you're being wrong about something. I don't know, but be consistent. Okay, I'm gonna, just like shooting, isn't that one of our goals? Isn't that kind of the definition of accuracy? To hold this gun up and be able to hit consistently where I'm trying to hit. How's that? Let's try that some more here. All right. Wow, look at that accuracy at this long range. Yeah, forget. I get hammer bite from the old high power, but I love them. Isn't that something? I get, well, that didn't get out of the gun on that last. That's the original. No, it's not the original mag. It's an aftermarket mag. Ironically, a couple of my very favorite firearms, semi-autos, this and the old 1911, the original 1911s, not the A1s, but the originals. I get hammer bite from both of them, and a lot of people do. That's another thing. I'm surprised it wasn't figured out early on. John Browning, you must have had smaller hands or something. I don't know, but not a problem if you wanted to carry it for defense or anything like that. That's the least of your worries. A little hammer bite. How many shots you going to fire? What kind of engagements are you expecting to have? You have a lot of enemies that have their own armies, and you have to be shooting 50 or 60 rounds from a handgun. But so from a defensive standpoint, I mean, I would feel fine just carrying this thing, and or a original 1911. It's not an issue for that. But to go out on the range and shoot it a lot, 5 or 6, 8, 10 magazines, you might get a little cut and be crying, like I do on camera sometimes, right? So, I've got a good look at that, I guess. It's just a beautiful piece. Again, when the magazine's out, it's got that disconnect. It's called a disconnect, boys and girls, young people. And it's a safety, of course. Most people don't like it, from a tactical standpoint. If you're a police officer, you're carrying this for self-defense, and you lose the magazine, it drops out or something, or you lose it totally, the gun is inoperable. Even if you have a round in a chamber, or if you got a pocket full of loose rounds or something, you don't have a gun if you don't have a magazine. Not a good survival weapon, but we'll accept that in a classic, right? Pretty cool. So I might have to shoot this one more time, okay? All right, shoot some jacketed ammo through this big old 44 Anaconda. What else about the NRA meeting am I not telling you? Well, I can't tell you everything. Oh boy, Indianapolis. I stayed downtown. I never got into the hotel, down the parking lot and all that stuff. I do not like. It's okay once you get settled in a big city and kind of learn your way around, where you can park and all that. When you got a car with you and a hotel, it's nice being close to the convention. That's one of the things I do. If I'm going to a convention like SHOT Show or an NRA meeting, I'll go, but I'm gonna stay once I get parked, I don't have to get into my car for anything. I just come out of my room, stumble down, get breakfast maybe, and walk to the convention center. That's my luxury, okay? But sometimes just getting there and getting settled and parked and all that is a real hassle. I used to travel in the 80s a lot, would fly into New York, and then I would get a rental car and drive across the state before the week was out eventually. But it's just such a hassle in so often. But now I understand why a lot of people in New York don't have a car, because it's just so much easier not to, and it's so expensive to have one and park it and all that. Once you get into a hotel there, then you got, of course, cabs and the subway and all that, and now Uber and everything. But of course, now I'm not sure I would want to even visit there. But I'm talking back in the 80s, it was kind of an interesting place to go, and occasionally, nice place to visit. Wouldn't want to live there. That really applies today, doesn't it, to a lot of people. Unless I could pack this in my what's it, Diamond D custom chest holster that I've got for it. Wear that around. All right. Keep the bad guys away from me. All right, let's make some noise. Cowboy, you need a big bullet. Boom. You too, bowling pin. How about this one right here? Knocked it all over. You want to get one of these on the go. Probably low. I think I heard it, didn't I? Or did I? Am I going to take an ear out to here? I don't want to do that. Oh, okay. I know what I need to do when I'm having trouble with that. I need to bring my electronic earmuffs over here if I'm having trouble hearing it hit the, if I'm shooting something really loud and I've got my ears stuck in so tight, I can bring my electronic muffs so I can hear the steel being hit. So that is a beautiful firearm. And again, I like that. I love my Python from the 80s, but this one is nice. The action, I feel like I can shoot it all I want to and not worry about it. It doesn't have that royal blue finish that I would hate to mar on my Python. This is stainless steel. I want to keep it nice, but the simplicity of the action is what I like. I can just shoot this and not worry about it. Now I've got beautiful grips. I've got a really beautiful firearm that I can shoot all I want to, is what I feel about it. Okay, so I don't know how long I've yacked. Probably way too long. So talked about everything that under the sun. The one gun, yeah, that I looked at. I know people always ask, well, what'd you see you liked at the SHOT Show or at the NRA meeting? I'm really bad about not getting excited about the new guns. It's terrible. I make mental notes. I take some pictures. Yeah, I need to review that, but I forget about a lot of them as quickly as I see them almost. But I have on my to-do list, like the Henry revolver. Interesting revolvers Henry's making now. I handled those and they seem well made. I think some of you will probably like those. Some Kel-Tec firearms looked at, and I seized the opportunity to grips and things like that, the artwork and holsters, just you name it. Looked at tractors a little bit in there, just anybody that's set up is kind of interesting. Firearms you can find online anywhere, and it's nice to handle them, of course, but so I don't know, who else did I see? Not a lot of knives. Looked at knives a lot, because some things you can handle. You can even purchase if you want to at the NRA meeting. They actually will sell you a knife or a set of grips and some of those things where you cannot buy a firearm there. But I didn't think what else I saw that was really interesting. Well, it's just cool that everybody's there. Mossberg, you name it, they're there. And like I say, it is something you put on your bucket list if you've not been to one, because I don't think you'll talk to anybody that's been to an NRA meeting, exhibits, that didn't enjoy it, that didn't like it. Okay, that would be hard to find. So talk to somebody that's been there besides me. Don't take my word for it. I'm always advising you to show up, if you can, if it's anywhere near you. I think it's going to be in Dallas next year, so next spring. So make your plans, and that is one of the places where, you know, I'll let you know. We'll have a meet and greet scheduled, and we'll definitely, you know, be there. Okay, and at a specific time, at a specific booth. You know, so that's the way we do it. So I'll have to go back and clean my guns now, and man, it is a nice day. I can't get over this. This is. I don't need this long sleeve shirt. It was chilly this morning, but it is probably about 70 degrees, and you see what it looks like out here, and the air is clear, and kind of Southern California weather. It just doesn't get any better than this. The difference between this and Southern California, though, is, oh yeah, the freedom. Minor detail, right? But yeah, this is much like that kind of weather, and no ocean breeze, just a breeze through the trees. And as things come out, it is a beautiful time of year, and the green is a different kind of green. It's a more of a yellow green, and then becomes a deeper green as spring advances. Yeah, brilliant, aren't I? So I will let you go, and man, I could stand here and shoot for 2 hours. It's just so pretty and feels so good, but I won't keep you that long. Yeah, you'd let me go anyway, wouldn't you? You'd say, get out of here. So I really appreciate your support. It was great to meet so many of you, and it just really is. I don't know, still don't know what to think of this project. 15 years done this, and met so many of you. You know, almost every time I go out, I meet some of you anywhere, and so many at the NRA meeting and things like that, of course. And just reminded and surprised over and over how I don't know, I guess how many or how much, I don't know, credibility that you give us, or you enjoy it too much. Some of you do. You just really do. And I just, it's still perplexing to me. It really is, because we're not slick, you know, and nothing that special really. But just so many of you are so loyal, and you always catch the videos, and you know, we don't deserve it. I guess kind of what I'm getting at, more than we deserve, and it's still kind of perplexing. And yeah, they just kind of brought the camera out 15 years ago and started playing with it, and don't even edit the videos, and you know, with rare exceptions, and you characters just keep coming back, and we just really do appreciate it. And when I say that, when I see you face to face or on camera, it's not just a greeting. I really mean it, and I don't care how tired I get when I'm out or when I'm doing anything. Like I say, you be sure you say hi, and it doesn't matter if it's 300 people in a row, like last Saturday or Friday or whatever. You know, it's I mean, I just appreciate the fact that I can shoot for a living, and that you all find some value in this, entertainment-wise or whatever. Not sure why, a little perplexing, like I said, but I just really do appreciate you all from the bottom of my heart. I mean, really do. It's not that I'm going out of my way to be polite. I just really do. You know, I fully understand, as I've discussed before, how lucky, how fortunate that I am, and John and I are, you know, to be able to do this and shoot for a living and have fun doing it, and do it the way we do it. You know, we're not obligated to any gun companies, and can be totally honest and objective, and you know, and y'all understand that, and you're forgiving, you know, because we don't, you know, cut the tape when I have a problem, mental problem or hitting problem or whatever. You're forgiving of, you know, those sorts of things in a video. It gets a little boring for a minute because I'm struggling to take a gun apart, whatever it might be. So it's a testament to you all too, that you don't have to have something extremely slick and a thrill every second, you know, in order to hold your attention. right? Most of you. And so anyway, just really do appreciate, and every time I say that, I mean it. Definitely mean it, and I think you know that. So glad you came out, glad to see so many of you last weekend, and I'm glad to see none of you right now, because I'm in my woods. I'm out here with my ticks and my squirrels, and my green leaves, and the bugs, which are not too plentiful yet, and with my own random, meager thoughts. Yeah, glad you're here to witness it. Life is good.